Hello and welcome back to the Angelic Pearls 144, the book that I am reading by Zenita Ray. And this is part 4. So if you just come to this video, do go back and start from part 1. I did get a comment the other day from the author of this book, the scribe of this book, which was really lovely. So you can look at that. I think it's on part 3 where she's talking about some orbs that could be seen in the video. So I suggest also, if you're loving this book as I am, you might want to check out her channel so you can follow her comment to do that. Okay, so let's dive in. So we're on Peal Code 7, the Ark. The Ark represents the vessel. Now, just before I go on, a few days ago, it was last week actually, on the 27th, I was driving back from visiting a friend in Worthing, and I was taking a route that I take all the time when I'm driving back from there. Whilst I don't go that often, I have done it a few times. And I just looked to the right and I saw this pub called the Ark. And as I saw this pub called the Ark, I instantly just got this, the Ark, the body is the Ark, is the vessel. So, as I am reading this book, I'm sure that as you are being guided to this book and resonating with this book, there's going to be so many signs and synchronicities that you're going to be experiencing throughout this reading. That's how, the universe comes alive to us, right, with our signs, our synchronicities. So the Ark represents the vessel, the body where the convent is the deed of the land of earth. But what is earth? Is man not made of the earth? Does a deed not stand for ownership of the land? For the mere meaning of the convent of the Ark is the divine sacred ownership of one's own vessel, which in return gives one reclamation of the earth. The divine birthright of the humans, the organic, angelic, human blueprint is made up of the elements of earth. Sacred elements nowhere else in the material realms does such an array of minerals inhabit such an array of diversity. The process of spiritual alchemy has many layers once taught within the sacred temples of the Ancient of Days. Sacred divine wisdom one houses within one's spiritual compass. All one must do is go within. Within their very own temple houses the best teacher, one's spirit, a fractal of the divine mighty spirit, the all, the holy, holy, holy. The sacred breastplate, said to be worn by the priest, made of 12 gems, needed to communicate with God in the sacred temple, represents the 12 DNA strands. The colours of the stones correspond with each strand needed to be activated in order to connect to one's God self. The line of communication once again comes back online and is plugged into the motherboard, so to speak, once the 12 centres are fully activated. The metaphor of the holy garment is thy light body. The key is to keep it pure, in harmony and balance. Only then can one fully work with the divine spirit, an array of energies within all of existence. The agreement that has been made and soon due, the Ark will open back up and pour into the earth, human vessels included, the pure milk from the divine mother's breast, feeding the spawns once more, filling them with honey of liquid gold never to quench again. Then all will be one again with the earth, plugged into the motherboard, directly, always inputting and exporting waves of pure creation. I'm just going to take a sip of tea. I'm really thirsty today. That's beautiful. Reclamation. The sword of Michael represents the light of the Ark, the pure Ra found in every sun, in every crystal heart, on a planet and a soul. The guardian archangels of earth have their higher self forms in stasis, waiting to rise up and merge with their incarnated form of this realm when guided by source. They all lay sleeping with their own sword. From these swords they will cut the anchors that bound all into an inorganic blueprint. This will then ignite the sacred art of the covenant, igniting the mother art gateway to bring all back up and merge into a 0 point timeline. However, every soul has made their decision, purchased their ticket to be used at the Grand Central Station when the whistle blows to board. It's great, right? They're using metaphors for us to understand. And, I actually retrained in hypnotherapy a long time ago, and I use metaphors all of the time. Now I do soul therapy, but I blend meditation and hypnosis because metaphor is how the subconscious learns an accelerated rate when we use metaphor. It really plugs in to symbology, to the language of the soul. So it just makes it really easy for us to embody and reactivate the truth within. The angelic dragons, Seraphim, are guardians of the Mother Arc gates. The light comes from the organic higher timeline of Earth through their incarnated vessel into this grid system. It is feeding the lines, array, phone lines, from the higher realms to this plane of existence. This is the arc to bridge together back into 0 point, into the original organic blueprint, not just for Earth, but for all of Earth's kingdoms, all of the Sol system, all of the Milky Way galaxy and beyond. For Earth is a major supergate portal station for other galaxies as well as universes. Yeah, and souls really, being on Earth at this point, we are honoured to be on Earth. And I know it might not always feel like that. Sometimes it's so hard being in the Earth school. We've all gone through our trials and tribulations, but it is, souls really wanted to be here at this point, because this is a historic point in our evolution as souls, for us to be ascending inside the body. So, ascension has taken place before, but usually when you ascend, you leave the body, whereas now we are ascending in the body. The planet is ascending, the cosmos is ascending. You are not the vessel, you are working through the vessel, driving it with thy divine spirit, who works on behalf of the divine mother, working on the road, so to speak, fixing the potholes, building bridges, removing dams and creating new roadway systems. We put in an EZ pass checkpoint. Some vehicles have a pass and can pass right on through and to enter the new realm. Some have to stop and pay. Some vehicles will make it to this checkpoint, others will not. It all depends on the operator of the vessel. Yeah, each soul has its own journey to take. And we don't always know what that is, and it's not wrong to take a different journey than the ascension journey. It's just that soul has other learnings to do. So as we do ascend, whilst I do believe, personally, I believe that a lot of us have chosen to ascend with the planet and will ascend, but there will be beings that have not chosen that for themselves at this point. But the reality is, the destiny of all souls eventually is to ascend. What you are doing is ascending in a way that is a cycle. You are heading back to the start. You have to come back, so to speak, to erase and start a new 0 point. And I know in my life I've been experiencing this so much, like the completion of cycles, that we're coming back to the beginning. And you might be feeling in that your life, and I know lots of my friends are feeling that as well, that karmic lessons and contracts are being completed, and that they're coming back to a starting point. It's like we are beginning again. We are being reborn again, like the phoenix out of the ashes. And just know that nothing is wasted. Nothing on your path is wasted. All of it holds meaning and purpose. You had to come back, so to speak, to erase and start a new 0 point. A new blueprint has been put into place. Only certain beings hold these codes. Prior, it was more. However, due to much infiltration and viruses within the system, we have locked down the files' access. Most of the ones incarnated are not even aware who they are or that they hold these files. This is for their own safety. When they are called upon to act, then they will be given full awareness instantly. All the guardians have been trained on this, and at night, when their bodies sleep, upgrades and downloads are being fed into their energetic systems. Yeah, when I am going to sleep at night, often I go into meditation first, and I can feel my soul coming in, upgrading my body. And there's certain periods of time when that is more intense than other times. And if you might be experiencing that yourself now, and if you're not, just know that it's still happening. Because there was a time when I couldn't feel that and I didn't know it was happening. But now, just because I've been on this journey, being committed to meditation, to healing, to reconnecting back to the true soul self, I can feel those subtle energies now. And to be honest with you, they don't feel subtle anymore. Much confusion is seen within the so-called lightworker community. There are many timelines, more than anyone is truly aware of playing out. These are all converging, being cleared, being collapsed and closed in the records, because Earth is the main supergate of the omniverse. Many are confusing what they tap into as it being of Earth's timelines. This is not always accurate, for it is for the collective of all. This has been happening over the last 11,000 linear years. That is why so much has been written about these last 11,000 years, so much confusion and wars. Earth has always been a starport, sort of speak, for all to come and go. Egypt was one. Egypt was one as it was the centre of the landmass. We are slowly moving back to Panagia, one landmass, one nation, one God source, one living library and one root race. The key here is the return of the law of one. The one has been fragmented and diluted down to such a micro that it has forgotten its macro. Archangel Metatron speaks. Selected souls have chosen to house within their energetic bodies the ancodes, sourced directly from the Mother Earth of the Mother Universe prior to descending into this current universe, mapped out for them a sacred mission handed from the superior angelic command who oversees divine blueprints and what you know as time. When the physical object known as the sacred An was brought into physicality by selected beings long ago, yet not so long ago, it was these selected souls who activated a gateway from the physical object to the original light source in the Mother Universe. When it was foreseen and warned of a split in the time wave, it was then that this sacred object was placed outside of Earth's timeline and hidden, and inside a hidden frequency untouchable by anyone on the surface except those souls selected to be. Infused directly from a bioplasma stream, physical crystals were created housing ancodes. These were released to travel upon the surface grid to allow a direct streaming from the inner planes to the outer planes. This created a two-way transmissional frequency of current to help connect the split time wave of the organic wave selected to be by the overall divine blueprint. When incarnated upon the surface grid, these crystals will appear at the appropriate node in time. They will then activate the incarnate, and when deemed appropriate, the codes from the energetic bodies will create an infinite loop into the physical vessel. This occurs once the vessel is balanced with its energetic bodies anchored in the Mother Universe. The physical vessel at this time will have been fully upgraded with the capacity to anchor these sacred particles of light onto the surface grid from their consciousness field of existence. Their duty is to then stream into their energetic field hairline light frequency from the sacred and place within the Earth's atoma. Upon the surface, these light seeds, although an alchemical process not yet known to man, will expand like popcorn in the quantum field. I love that. You can just imagine it all popping. This creates a healing and mending within space. When there is less space between atoms, they can absorb higher amounts of electricity. Hence why lithium is used in the sacred and crystals mixed with gallium. Your scientists are only just now discovering the little space between atoms in gallium and how much more powerful they are at being a semiconductor to energy. By working with these sacred and crystals, it allows these selected souls who already hold the codes within their energetic bodies can now combine it into the physical vessels. They act as lightning rods, grounding in an orchestrated symphony of these sacred and codes. To caveat to this, they also are radio towers to the Mother Universe, bringing into their field, which curves at their heart crystal, to then flow downward into the atoma, bringing back upward the sacred and codes, which then emits outward into the surface grid for the collective. This creates an upside down ankh. This is this, right? I think I showed you before. This is the ankh symbol that you'll see that many gods and goddesses held from the Egyptian lineages. For you are walking on the ceiling, sort of speak. This time has come to flip the book of the dead right side up. And hasn't it been like that? I say this all the time. We've been living in an inside out, upside down world. We've been living in an inverted matrix, and the poles are flipping, and we are spiraling back to source, to truth, to light, and we are coming back into the organic, true ways of being. The time has come to flip the book of dead right side up, to come alive. Yeah, bring us back to life. Come out now, I call upon you, men of the night, for dawn is rising. Sleep no more, for the lid of the esophagus under the mouth of the lion has opened. Hear the roar within. So Zenita Ray says, the 144 showed me the layers of consciousness upon the earth plane. For example, you have all of humanity as a layer, and then you have a breakdown of layers based on vibration. It looks like a pearlescent sphere. Within these layers are key codes. Those who are working on themselves are ready for more keys, can simply go into these layers to retrieve them during meditation. When one connects with their light, it opens that pillar, which upon itself is like a magnet. It pulls into it keys that are a vibrational match to that individual's brainwaves, meaning that each time you expand your consciousness, you move up an octave. Then during meditation, imagine books on a library shelf being dropped down a shoe into your brain. This is how key codes work. Held within each light code is equivalent to a book of knowledge. These are the 33 keys, the 33 stair steps you walk up before graduation. Now, you might also be experiencing seeing 333. I'm seeing that so much right now. I've been on such an amazing journey with numbers. And you know, when I first started hypnosis, and whilst I've changed from traditional hypnotherapy, but when I first started it, when I retrained out of finance, because I'd done so many, I was an accountant, I'd done so many accounting exams. I did a hypnosis course for people that were doing exams to help them, because it's such a stressful time, and also because I knew you could go into the quantum field and really, you know, you already knew this information, and you could really accelerate your learning and really have that advantage when you go into the exam and also with study. And the visualization that I got was a library, and it was going into this library, and it was just selecting the book that you were studying, and then just seeing the stream of information just stream in to the brain and just be absorbed into the brain. So it's so interesting that this is how it's being shown here. And it's exactly that, right? When we're in the quantum field, you know, we're not learning in linear time. We are downloading things instantly getting messages and waking up to the truth. So Jacob's ladder. When you venture up the 32 steps of Jacob's ladder, on the 33rd step, you ignite the crown. This is a representation of climbing up the 33 vertebrae of your spine. The Christ light begins to stream into you, feeding you with sacred honey of the divine, overlighted with you become by the I am, who feeds you the divine mother's milk of the mystery of mysteries. Given unto you are the ark codes needed to prepare yourself, to prepare your ark vessel for the flooding of light, so you can rise and float atop the water. 2 times 2, you ignite your DNA, which are coded in pairs within the sacred ark. Once you survive the flood, you will be greeted by the rainbow, thy light body, the 144 light waves of creation integrated inside of you, perfectly balanced, both light and shade perfectly blended and bonded, ready to create anew. Beautiful. Beautiful way to now envisage the Noah's Ark story, right? From a higher perspective. Once you have shifted your consciousness through these 33 steps, you are anointed by Archangel Metatron and Sophina. They then give you a cosmic pass. This is the key code to the universal mind, which holds a vibration of Metatron in the angelic language. At this stage, you are always connected to the universal mind. When you close your eyes, it appears as a bright white halogen light shining above you. With each inhale, it expands, and with each exhale, it flashes. With each breath, you are expanding your prana tube to anchor more codes. Think of this cord like 2 cans held together by a string. When you place the can to your ear and you hear the person on the other end speak, this is how your higher self speaks to you, or another from the higher realms, which is connected deeply to your diamond heartstrings. You are also directly connected to every aspect of yourself by these strings. When we look upon a soul, they appear bigger when there is an aspect needed to be healed. You can heal this yourself by tapping into that string to view the timeline it is anchored in. The key is to trust yourself and ask for guidance. Ask your spirit to show you. One of the main keys for ascension is to heal all aspects of yourself attached to the 3D earth plane. It is like you are all linked together by a chain on a ship. There is one aspect of yourself attached to a heavy anchor that falls overboard, pulling all other aspects of you down with it. When the ascension gateway opens for you to ascend and meet your higher self halfway, you do not want to risk having any anchor points on this plane. Going within is like taking a sip from the Holy Grail. Drinking from the cup of your divine spirit is truly how you never thirst. From above, your Grail cup is filled with plasma diamond light from the very womb of all of creation. The omniverse is here. It is within. It is where you are now. There is never separation. Then Zanita Ray just adds, in ancient Jewish mysticism, Noah's flood speaks of a gem of light called Tozar. What the Seraphim taught me is that this is the Christ seed, the pearl. It speaks of how the Tozar illuminates and guides the ark, meaning during a storm, if you allow your pearl to shine, it will show you the way. Right, I'm gonna show you this diagram here. Pearl code 7. And I'm just gonna read this little passage, and I'm going to end there for today. So, we must pull the veils away layer by layer, for if we did them all at once, it would be too much to digest. Think of it as courses. You can't just go walk right up at graduation and receive your diploma on day one, can you? No, you must take courses. You learn from each one, do you not? Yes, this is what ascending in the physical consciousness is all about. Stop second guessing yourself. The first feeling you get, ride with it. That is your gut. Listen to it. Feel it. For it is the answer, the truth, the light, and the way. Lord Zandama. What a lovely way to finish. And to just also allow us to have compassion for ourselves with wherever we are right now, because we're exactly where we need to be, and our highest self knows what is for the best for us and is going to guide us in the most loving and compassionate way, and we're going to be awoken in a way that we can integrate this light, this knowledge into the body. So it has to happen over periods of time, but you might start to notice, I've been awakening for quite a long period of time, and since like 2023 it's been accelerating that awakening. The more that we are committed to the self, to going within, to healing, to going on our healing journey and integrating more of our light, which does heal us, then the more that we accelerate that awakening and find and bring back all these parts of ourselves. So we just have to trust that we are exactly where we need to be right now.